So I'm driving through San Diego near the LOMA area, not far from SeaWorld. See a lot of downtrodden people, you know, and kind of a grim community. Even going into 7-Eleven, the guy was, I bought a soda. I got a refill on soda with my own cup, as I do on a almost daily basis. And I grabbed a few of these creamers, you know, that people would put in their coffee. And since I didn't buy coffee, the guy goes, "Those are just for coffee purchases only." You know, these are like things that it costs like a cent, 1 penny each or something, you know. And people like that, they're just so down and what's their worries about, you know? I mean, the 7-Eleven clerk, for example, I mean, he's getting his hourly pay. It's not going to hurt him. It's not going to hurt 7-Eleven Corporation. He's just being negative and bossy. So on the one hand, we got downtrodden people. A lot of them are victims, and a lot of it's because of society. And a lot of these clerks, by the way, you know, they come from other countries. They don't grow up here, and they treat Americans like pieces of junk. And they don't know the spirit. They don't know the truth. They don't know Jesus Christ. They might know Muslim, Islam. They might know nothing. They just work for, you know, they just believe you got to work every day. Grim work ethic. There's nothing wrong with working, but it's contrary to the gospel of Jesus Christ, the good news. If you think you can work, if you think you can be justified by work. So we got on the one hand, these people who try to be justified by a work ethic, and they have a very negative view of people who aren't working according to their standards. I mean, they're not filling they're not standing up for 8 hours or doing something behind a desk for 8 hours, calling that work. Even though they're walking around, they might be walking with little food or drink all day, which is actually more demanding. And yet, at the end of the day, they even get more imposed upon and treated badly by people like these clerks. Some of them from Mideast countries who don't like Americans. They really don't. And it's so hard. It's hard for the community. It's hard for people, because they're just taking. They're not giving. They don't respect us. They don't really like us. And so I offer up a prayer for these clerks. I mean, our only hope is that they come to know Jesus Christ and transform their lives and become converted and start to really care about other people. And also I pray for our downtrodden people who have little hope. Some of them know Jesus Christ, but they don't have the means to, become regular church attenders. Because a lot of church, by the way, is socioeconomic driven. And so the most downtrodden just become recipients of grace. Occasionally, maybe, when the church does a food drive or something like that, or they give out food on a weekly basis, things like that, but they don't get taken in to become active members and participants of the church. So the church fails in that way, because they're treating homeless just as really people who can't do anything good other than staying alive. And they actually do have a lot to offer, but those who attend church, who have jobs, actually push them out. Because, a lot of them, like lawyers, like to be an usher at a church. It's good for their resume. It's one thing they can do for the church once a week. A lot of these professionals fill various roles at the church, like ushers and deacons and all types of things that they can put on their resume, but they don't really need that. They don't really need that job. They don't get paid, for example, but homeless people could do that, and they could probably do it with more compassion, more caring. But they get pushed out, actually. They don't even get a chance to serve at a church. So it's really sad. It's really sad. And our church is failing in that regard. So hear our prayer, Lord, in that regard. As I drive through San Diego, one of the largest homeless communities in the country, as well as LA. Pray for things to improve, for the church to be able to see some of the things that are blocked from their view because they work inside the church walls all day rather than out in the community. I have a better view of things in that regard because I do a lot of roaming, sort of like the way Jesus did his ministry, peripatetic. So I have maybe a better view of things in that regard. You can pass that on in prayer and to others to think about.